Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend, or maybe not, he's my very good friend, is Dave.
I wouldn't count your chickens, mate. Hello there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island Season 1 All Stars, Episode 1, Chris. Now, I don't know. Where do we want to start?
Well, let's just start with the fact that you have been completely coerced and fucking manipulated into covering this one day. I do apologise, but I don't really apologise. It's just threw a few breadcrumbs on and you're like, you're a bellend, Chris. So here we are, everyone. Welcome back. Love Island 2024 All-Stars. The most fucking desperate cast of fucking Love Island rejects are back, Dave, I'd probably say. Yeah, unbelievable. And there's a few characters on the All-Star lineup that you're not aware of. So, from your very early first season of Love Island, 2015. But the one thing I would say, Dave, more than anything, is it's on for 6 weeks. It's Love Island. We're back, baby.
So we did have a plan, and that was we were going to see out traitors, and that nicely dovetailed into maths. So, and then peeking behind the curtain, right? You and I were speaking, and you're like, yeah, well, I mean, traitors will finish soon. I'm like, are you fucking taking the piss? Are you trying to dress it up and make me forget that we've said we're doing maths? but anyway, we're here, and you can tell I'm delighted about it. What I'd say, Chris, back in the 90s, you had Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek starring in Desperado, a remake of the old El Mariachi. But they have got nothing on this bunch of desperados. You just said that. Now, to be fair, I didn't watch it in real time. I kind of caught up in the morning. And honestly, the rage was just building up inside me. It's like none of you are here for love. None of you have done anything since you've been probably riding the nightclub circuit, every day since you've come back. And you've been clambering to get back into the villa. Christ, Mitch has only just got out of the villa and he's straight back in there. So, obviously the fucking Corfu nightclub meetups or something with Mitch, obviously it doesn't bring in exactly that much money. So let's try and get some more Instagram followers. So, yeah, I am coming in hot for this lot, Chris.
I never would have guessed. I've got to say, Dave, I think the problem with this is because we know these characters and we've had, there's a couple that you're like, oh, I don't remember them. And then when they start talking or they start like, oh, hang on, yeah, I do. And obviously you're at a bit of a disadvantage because these 3 characters from season 1, so it's Hannah, Georgia and Lewis. But I do want to start, Dave, with the introduction of the first 2 contestants. So we get Liberty and we get Hannah. Now, Hannah was the girl who John proposed to at the end of series 1, Dave. She is from your neck of the woods. And I will say, Dave, there is no need for any lifeguards in that film.
There is no sinking going on there, is there?
There's no issue. If somebody is in a bit of trouble, send Hannah in, Dave. I'm telling you now, unbelievable. I thought somebody had got a fucking pump and pumped up a fucking Mitre Delta there. It was 2 of them. We almost had the return of right said Fred, didn't we, Dave?
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Tray of eggs. I guess the problem is, we still, as cynical and old as we are, we still cling on to that little bit of belief that, there are some of these characters that are here for the right reasons. They are here because they want to find love on Love Island. I don't know why we do it. I don't know why we keep coming back to this shred of belief that we have. But the problem is when you get this lot, and it's like, yeah, well, we've seen you, and you're just trying to think, oh, what's a good plausible excuse for us to get back onto the TV screens and then ramp up the Instagram followers again? I mean, Hannah, obviously, I don't know anything about it. It mentioned about the proposal and everything, but she's got a kid and she's got she's the other side of 30. Actually, I don't mind that so much. I think it's worse when they go the other way, isn't it? I mean, one of the others was on series 1, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well I'm 25 now." I'm like, "Fuck me!
Yeah.
What fucking age were you when you did that?" You're 25 now, so yeah, but it's just that they're all so desperate, aren't they? And kind of, the various things. I'll let you peek at my cards a little bit. Various things that happen within this episode, where it was like, all right, yeah, I'm sort of in. I hate myself for it. Absolutely hate myself for it. But yeah, I'm in.
I know. Well, I think one of the first ones, so we get a little bit in Hannah, even in the old, the blonde were here and all this stuff. And then we get Chris and Jake. Now, Chris Taylor, I really enjoy. I watched his reality show with Mac and Jordan, who's actually doing the modelling for eBay, Dave, in between the adverts. And there was another lad as well. There was 4 of them in the house. But I enjoyed that show. It was a really very loosely based reality show. They lived in a house, obviously bankrolled by fucking MTV. The neighbours fucking hated him. And Chris was the life and soul of all of them. All the others are all doing the gym and that. They were a bit silly, but he was exactly the same character as he was on Love Island, silly Sam and all that sort of thing. So I actually really enjoy him. And he mentioned about the Margot Robbie thing because she loves Love Island. Not listened to our podcast yet, Dave, that we know of. Margot, if you're out there.
Oh, where's our invite?
Exactly.
In the background. Barbie.
Well, I'm happy to do a bit of. I could be like the middle.
I think we'd stand out though, wouldn't we? All these aesthetic, beautiful Barbie and Kens, and then there's me and you, fucking opening a beer or a prosecco or something in the background.
We couldn't
bunch
be
of losers.
Yeah, he's sad bastards. We'd be in the real world, wouldn't we? When if you watch the movie when they move across, but. When Jake comes in with Liberty and you just see both of them, it just reminded me the David Brent scene when he goes on the blind date and he goes,
with the scarf.
Yeah, with the scarf. But Jake was the same. Now, they obviously knew they were both going on it because we've all known for weeks, not weeks, for about 10 days, roughly, who's going on. So they would have, and obviously they're playing it for, as it is. But Dave, it was fucking awkward. And I love Chris going, oh, this is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Let's have a bit of a chat then, don't you? Oh, imagine this. But he was doing it so subtle. It wasn't like nasty. It was just sort of like the producers have said, just give him a little nudge there, Chris. And honestly, Dave, it was fucking awkward. Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, they must have known, but actually they did a pretty good job of making it look really, really awkward. And not as awkward as it got later, but I mean, and he was doing his best, wasn't he, to give it the old, no bad blood or anything like that. And then she's given the odd flash, the odd grimace that she really doesn't want to be in his presence or anything. But I thought it looked kind of genuine, but like I say, it can't have been really.
No, it can't. And I think as well, because of the whole thing with Love Island and knowing that the public vote, I was thinking straight away, oh no, this is going to go exactly because we're all a bunch of bastards, aren't we? We want drama.
Yeah. I mean, we will go through the other people as well, but as soon as you've mentioned that, I think we should take a moment because, Chris, there have been times over the last few years when I've questioned the morals of our voting public, and it came down to the last 2, and Jake and Liberty was still sat there, and I suddenly started thinking, oh, you bunch of bastards. Oh, you've not, have you? Oh, I fucking hope you have. Oh, come on, make it happen. And then it was, we've paired Liberty and Jake up. No matter how many people saw how horribly that kind of went, I was like, oh, you've done me proud, voting public.
Well, I've got to say, Dave, one of the voters was actually my wife, Dave. So
really?
The voting, yeah, she did. I didn't tell me. She went, I went, you joking? She went, no. I was like, oh, well done. I didn't have to even prompt you there. But I'm the same as you. When that played out, I was like, oh, fuck. And like, what gets me is the VT, because, like I say, because we've seen them all before. We've seen them out. They've laid it all bare, literally, because it's Love Island. They're in the the bikinis or the swimming shorts, and there's fucking Jake doing press ups, and I'm better now, I'm bigger now, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh mate, please stop, just please stop fucking talking. And it was so awkward. But then you get Kaz comes in, who's fucking Liberty's best mate, pretty much. And should they be act as if they've not just been sat in the same fucking Jeep around the corner? Yeah, in the corner. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. And I think that's what I find funny is none of these fuckers are in there. Exactly what you said, as we all said. Nobody's in here for anything, nothing to do with love. Because it's, as I always say, the first thing I think of, Dave, if I was single, I'm going to find love. Is I tell you what, I need to go on a fucking reality TV show in my fucking Speedos. That's exactly what I think if I was going to find love again. Exactly, Dave. It just trickles off my tongue. That's what I would do. But also, like when they're talking, everything's so fake. And like Mitch is there, and he says, "Yeah, I'm here to find love." And I'm like, Mitch, shut the fuck up. That is the fakest delivery I've seen. Like you said, it's just what I find now is I think they've all made a big mistake. And because people have seen them and they've got the good people they liked and the people they didn't like, and it's going to get worse. It's going to be other people come in. We know that bombshells, everything, all like ex-contestants. I think the fucking audience is just going to vote and just cause chaos, Dave, and I'm here for it because we know these people, don't we? Messy Mitch, we know he's a game player. Jake was very similar to Messy Mitch, wasn't he? Like the same sort of character, playing people off, playing the good guy, but he was a bit of a shit stirrer. I don't know how this is going to play off, but I guarantee, and I'm one of them watching it already, is the audience are not going to be as forgiving the second time round, Dave. I think it's going to be absolute carnage, and I'm here for it.
I kind of am as well. Now, I think the fact that, the majority of people voted for Jake and Liberty to get together just shows you how seriously people are taking it, from the public perspective. Because for a normal series of Love Island, you don't know these people, and you're probably there might be the odd person or quite a few probably, who are looking to cause a bit of carnage. But generally, the people who get paired by the public vote are people who, the public see as being a good match, for the right reasons, if you like. Whereas that, I think, is just a window into, the people are going to fuck some shit up, and I am definitely here for it. But I tell you what, when Liberty and Jake went across, like I say, he's trying to do the old shit-eating grin, like there's no problem, and we're all right. But honestly, Chris, her facial expressions, I mean, it was like he'd shat himself or something. The way she was grimacing at him, especially when she had to go and stand next to him and stuff. I mean, talk about being done. So, yeah, I'm definitely here. If there's going to be more fucking shit up from the public voters, definitely here for that.
Oh, I loved it. And then like we get thingy, Dave. We see Georgia, as you mentioned before, about she's 25, she's matured, and then we get Anton. And Anton, and I don't know what it is, Dave, but Anton genuinely, and he's probably as fake as everyone else, but I did feel sorry. We kept thinking, I think he's actually here to put a few things right again, because he was like everyone's friend again, like we've had with Hugo and that a few years ago and all that. And he seemed like, I might be wrong, but he seemed like genuinely that he might be the only character so far who actually, even though he's on the show and it's all bullshit, he wants to actually find love as such, or some sort of fucking celebrity fucking partnership.
What Kool-Aid are you drinking? What do you mean?
He's wearing,
what made you think that? Was it when Maya Jama sat down next to him and he started getting out the old mouse spray?
Well, Dave, don't you dare slate the Queen. We need to speak about Maya Jama. I'm not slating
her. I'm just saying everyone else is at a disadvantage when she walks in. But
I am as well.
I think when I do like Anton. He's a bit of a knob, wasn't he? Remember back in season 5, he came on a total, big fish in a little pond kind of thing, and thought he was the man. And then, he reminded everyone, didn't he? I'd forgotten that he said his mum shaves his arse. But, he comes across quite well, doesn't he? And the fact that he got pied off so many times in that season sort of made it quite quite amusing. But I mean, on what planet do we think these people can't actually find someone? You know,
No.
and you've got that. Is it Georgia who's saying, "Oh yeah, well yeah, I spoke to Toby and spoke to Anton as well." I mean, you could have got with any of these lot. They're all on the same fucking circuit as you. You know, you've probably met these people multiple times. And actually, the most truthful thing that I think was said in the whole episode was from Toby, and he said, 90% of the girls in the Love Island villa are my types. So how am I meant to choose? Now, the only thing I think he got wrong there is he's probably, underestimating it at 90%. So I did appreciate that bit of honesty there from him.
Yeah, but Dave, it's still the logic of like any of these people is just fantastic in it. Like, so Louis, you'd never met before. He was in season 1. He got with Callie. They had a baby. They was together for a couple of years. Now, to me, seeing Louis again on this, now, Dave, he's only 29, and I would say he's a good-looking lad. You know what I mean? He was good-looking, everything from 2015, but like this is 9 years later. He's I don't think he's going to have a problem when he gets out of the villa, but also different dynamic. You know, he was on the show when you could smoke, when you could, there was proper tear-ups. It's a completely different, even though, honestly, Dave, when he said he was 29, I'm thinking, season 1 was about 15 years ago, and it was like 9 years ago. And I'm like, holy shit, that's gone so quick. But it's because there's so many episodes and that the characters change even in the series. You'll see him at like the rap party and you're like, oh, fuck me, I forgot about that person. You know, they left in week 2 or whatever because the show moves on, doesn't it? There's drama all the time. But I think with everyone that came in, they're not the premium ones. I think probably Liberty, Hannah wouldn't even say. I mean, Liberty's probably the most recognisable one. And because Liberty and Kaz's friends, they were really close on their series. Jake's got a bad reputation. Mitch has. Yeah, Toby was just a bit of a fucking wet lettuce and pissed about, didn't he, for his whole... Wasn't he the one who played for fucking #FC Day?
Hashtag United, I think it was.
Oh, what, they got #FC? Fucking, yeah. #fuck you. But, yeah, I just thought it started off like, normal Love Island, but I'm in the same as you. Just to see... I know it's bullshit, but just to see the shit that they're going to fucking throw up against them, because they've all got a bit of baggage, they've all got little bits of information about each other that they've probably found out now, whereas when normally, as I said before, they come in and they don't know each other. And so unless they've done a bit of modelling or something like we've heard now and again, especially on the Aussie one. But on this, Dave, I am just here for the carnage. And when the Queen came in, Dave, can we talk about Maya Jama, Dave? We've got to address this fucking elephant. Am I addressing the elephant in the room?
I was waiting for you to address the elephant in the room. I was wondering if there's only one.
I've got to say, Dave, she comes into the villa, and I know I always go on about the 50k steals, the absolute 50k. Someone just fucking nicked the money. I don't even know if they're getting paid for this or whatever. I don't know how it works, this series. I'm not really that bothered. I'm just here for the nonsense. However, Dave, it would be fucking amazing that when she gets the lads stood up and it's like, right, to the girls, right, stand next to who you fancy. If fucking most of the lads went and stood next to her, Dave, because there is no way, as a guy, the lads, they're not going to show these conversations, Dave. But like, obviously, Anton's fucking breath fucking spray when she turned up was fucking brilliant TV. I was like, oh, what, mate. But Dave, she's stunning, isn't she? You know, and that's no disrespect to any of the girls because they're all good looking, but for me, she's on a different level to all them, and that must be disheartening for the girls, you know. And then I think they panned after she left, and then Anton's going, "Yeah, I'm going to find my true love," and I'm like, "Shut up, you dick! You do not want to get many of the girls over than Maya Jama." So anyway, that's my case, Your Honour, and I've flirted around that one day without getting a punch off my wife. But there you go.
Well, let me know how that goes on. But yeah, I mean, it does seem a bit weird, doesn't it? Because she does come in and you're like, well, if you sat down, you'd be probably the one everyone would be after. But and I did appreciate some of the wear, some of the dresses, Chris. I thought they were well selected. But
she was a springy, wasn't it? And ball she was walking on, Dave.
Indeed. But I mean, you're saying about the it not being the cream of the crop, who would you have? If you were to pick a bombshell to come in, or it doesn't have to be just one, just some random names, from all these people that you remember from all the seasons. But
Sure, you.
Put you on the spot. Who would you pick?
Oh, you have put me on the fucking spot now.
I'll say that, I don't think he will appear on this one, or if he does, he's got some abuse from me. He was on that fucking Love Island Games that was on before Christmas, wasn't he? But Curtis.
Oh,
just to watch him, like, dancing on down with that massive hat on that he had for talent night.
Oh, brilliant.
And trying to be everyone's dad with, the advice and stuff, and having shit advice for everyone else. But, he really likes making the coffees. So, he'd be happy if he could do that.
Yeah, possibly. Moira, Dave, Tommy Fury, same season as well.
Moira would be a good shout as well.
Yeah, Tommy Fury didn't have much of a personality. I do follow him on YouTube and that. His boxing is fucking terrible. But probably someone like that, Moira, who'd come in and just not give a shit, Dave. Just give it to people. Really good contestant who just will stir up the whole part of the show. I think that's what you need. There's probably loads I've forgotten. I know there's loads I've forgotten as I'm thinking of.
Maybe, I don't know if Andrew and Tasha, maybe. I guess they're probably still together, the whole I licked her tit or whatever, sticking back in there.
Do you think that's part of their foreplay?
I think might come up with some awkwardness. I think the first time we tried that again after the whole event.
We could, but it'd be interesting, won't it? Because we've watched and had links for so many different shows, so many contestants going on these tell-all podcasts after they left. There's no NDAs, and they just reveal every bit of shit, don't they? So this is going to be interesting. Like some of the contestants, especially the ones that I feel as if they've been hard done to and booted off, whether they reveal everything again. And they always end up on a couple of them shows, because I do watch them. I really find it interesting, but it does, like the voice above and all that, it sort of ruined that mystique a little bit of trying to, we call it out, but also you sort of know what's going on, because they are steered towards sort of you two sit together. We're going to, we know they're being filmed, don't they? So I wonder how this will play out, because with them being like all stars and people who've been there, got the t-shirt, will they actually be more, at least be overly produced because they've been on previously, and they're actually grateful that they've got a bit of the limelight again. Interesting.
Yeah. It will be interesting. I also think the ones particularly coming back from season one, I mean, the popularity of the show just took off, didn't it? So they'd have done season one, it was sort of moderately popular, but it's a different level now compared to where it was. Probably, I don't know, between season 3 and 5 was that maybe its most popular, but, they must, want a piece of the action, I guess, to come back into it. One of the other people who I'd quite like to see come in, Chris, is Shauna, but the reasons for that we'll get onto. Coming to the couples, picked out by the public, just rattling through some of those. So first couple we had was Chris and Demi. So Demi, I think matches Chris, doesn't she, in terms of her energy, and she's got this bubbly kind of personality. I must admit, I didn't remember her, Chris, until they showed the clip where she fell over. I was like, oh, right, yeah, I remember now. Then, Go on.
No. Go on.
Then the next couple we had was Lewis and Georgia H. And then was it Georgia H?
Georgia S. Toby, yeah.
Toby with Georgia S. And then you had Anton with Hannah. I mean, out of all the couples, that is definitely not going to last. Well, actually, probably a better half-life than Jake and Liberty. But that was the moment for me when those two got picked together. And then Mitch and Kaz. So, I mean, what do you think? Obviously, we've spoken about Jake and Liberty, but what do you reckon about those other couples, Chris?
Well, Mitch and Kaz made me laugh because Maya Jam was talking to Mitch. He's got his back to poor Kaz, and he says something like, he's trying to say a compliment, but it's just so fucking fake. And like, Then he like says something condescending, and Kaz made me laugh because she just rolled her face and just, her eyes as if to say, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're here. I did love the fact the couples didn't get who they wanted, Dave. Nobody ended up with anybody. I mean, I think Toby said Georgia Rest, didn't he? And that wasn't, it was just a guess. And that actually was the only couple. When they asked him, who do you think or who would you pick? Nobody got who they wanted. And obviously, then they're like, yeah, really good. And I think, Georgia H's best was the best one. She said about Lewis. She said something like, he's got a nice voice or something like that. It was something really bad. Not like he's a good-looking lad or like his tattoos or anything. It was just like, yeah, he's got a really nice voice. So it was just like, oh, fuck. So I don't know how it's going to play out because obviously Jake and Liberty, I thought at this point, stole all the thunder for, this is going to be about Jake and Liberty. This is the story we're now going to be told for the next couple of weeks, Dave. And then Maya said, and my best Columbo voice, just one more thing. No, that was fucking Sean Connery? But anyway,
I have no idea.
I don't know who it was. And then Callum comes in from season 6, Manchester lad Dave. And I'm thinking, hang on, he was with Molly. Oh, Dave, look, in walks Molly. So I've seen some of the insider stuff. Our good friend Derek on the Facebook chat had put apparently they were both caught off guard, Dave. I call the whole thing utter bullshit. Utter bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not buying what they're selling, to be honest. This is the storyline, isn't it? Oh yeah, we just literally split up last week. Right. Okay, so the producers and everything have gone through all the casting. They've figured out who's going to be on the show. And you just happened to split up just before you came onto here. Right, all right. And they've been together for a while now, haven't they? And so I do think they'll end up coming back together. But I mean, if I just go with it, if I go with the storyline for a moment, I mean, it is a good conundrum for him, isn't it? Because, initially he comes in and then Maya says to him, you can pick any of the girls that you want. But just before you do that, you can also pick Molly as well. That is your choice. And I'm like, okay, let's ignore the fact that this is plotted out. What the fuck would you do? Let's say they genuinely have just split up, but they've got loads of complicated feelings about, should they have split up? Is there something left to rekindle? Maybe it's not a clean break type situation. I thought that could potentially be quite messy and interesting.
No, and to be fair, you're right. If it's genuine, then fuck me, Dave. The producers have literally gone to him, Bob. They probably said to Callum, fancy coming back on the show, bit of the limelight, because he's not really done much, has he? I don't know how he does on social media, but I've not seen him on anything. But then it's like, and then another producer like, Molly, would you like to come on the show? Oh, not with Callum. No problem. Hang on a sec. And that is like the producers for once bringing the heat. But we'll know when we watch tonight's episode if it is genuine, how it plays out. Because like you say, they're not actors and actresses. If you're not an actor and actress, if it's real, it'll be raw. He cannot pick her, or she cannot pick him, can she? So, or whichever way it goes, whether the audience, obviously, if the audience pick him, Dave, maybe we're going to have Liberty and Jake, and we're going to have Callum and Molly back together. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? Maybe they'll sort it out on telly. Maybe that's the story out we're being told, but I just didn't buy it. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope for once that it is a genuine thing that they've just got him in there to just cause fucking havoc. Because this would be brilliant for social media, Dave, for the show. It'll just go absolutely crazy if this is real.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the next episode we're going to see kind of the decision and then kind of how that first day plays out. But I hope we see some quick fire bombshells coming in, for the first few episodes, just to remember about some faces. And you want people to be a bit messier. I mean, for Mitch, right, the whole messy Mitch thing was his own brand, wasn't it? He wanted to be called Messy Mitch, whereas I just see him as a bit pathetic. So I want someone genuinely messy. I mean, Toby would have been a good one, but he's an OG now. So, yeah, I ultimately do I really care if Callum picks Molly or someone else? Not really, but there's enough going on elsewhere. And I tell you what I thought as well, Chris, just coming back to Liberty, I thought it was a deliberate tactic. She singled out Mitch. Now, on what planet do you have to be if you are genuinely there for the right reasons and you're trying to find someone? Why would you go for Mitch? And I thought that was a deliberate tactic to say, right, I'm going to go with this flaky fucker so I can give it the old, I can almost replay my own storyline from season 6. I'm going to get messed around a little bit, but then I'm going to put on my big pants and like walk off. I don't know. Was it just me thinking that? But I was kind of like, oh, fuck off. That's a deliberate tactic.
Well, for me, Deb, no, I've got the same sort of theory as well. Is that when Liberty and Jake split up, she was quite rightly. When we were all like, at the time, where the hell has this come from? They were on the final date, and there'd been all sorts of times when she could have binned Jake off. She binned him off literally right at the end. And fair play, if it was genuine, good on her. Dave, she made 23 grand on her first fucking Instagram post as soon as she left it. If she can do this again, she made over £1 million pretty quick. She's a very, very astute business lady. And if she's got the right team behind her, why would you try and fix someone that isn't broken? If she can go for someone like Mitch, who's fucking absolute cock, then why would you not do it? Because she was the bit of the darling of the nation, wasn't she? And she got so much respect for what she did. And she was on Love Island All Stars. I don't know what's the first episode. Saw her on that. I don't know how that played out, but I saw her on that. And now she's on this.
You mean the one we're covering right now?
No, Jimmy, I mean the games, Love Island games. It's so many days. But yeah, so it's like you're on here again. You're on the same franchise, and I'm sure she said she'd never go back to it at some point. And I'm not digging her out because Jake's a fucking cock, but I don't know whether I believe in the sincerity of her this time.
Yeah, I didn't give it a passing thought until that moment when she went over to Mitch, and I was just like, oh no, this is off. But Chris, after the episode, it looks like there's some news broken.
There is, Dave. So the man who had a lovely beard when he was with Liberty, Jake, has actually left, Dave. So we're actually 3 days behind when they filmed it because they said he's left after 3 days in the villa. So, so I've seen like the preview for tonight. He's actually on there, so that he obviously is a point, but I don't know how that's going to play out. Is it a big kickoff? Is it a thing where he's sort of trying to garner the respect of the public, and he's like, look, I can't do this. It's not fair. I don't know, and we don't really know much at the moment about why he's left, but it must be the strain of them two being together again.
I don't know, but I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, we're back and we're talking about this fucking nonsense again, Dave. I blame you because really, when I say I blame you, I blame myself. So if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. As always, please get up to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. As I said in the last episode, 661 friends over on Facebook. Come and join us, guys. Let's get to 700. At some point, we'll get to 1,000. We've got 661 great friends over there. So come and join us. A big thanks to Charlene, as always, for moderating the Facebook page. Really appreciate it, Charlene. If you do want to support us, get over to patreon.com/CD RealityCast. So the roll call of honor. And this list gets bigger and bigger by the episode. So thank you, guys. It's amazing your support. Past and present, we do appreciate it. So big thank you to Sinead, Jesse, Katja, Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Andrea, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Maggie, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Lucky Luda Green, and Kent Gustafson. And as this goes on, Dave, I haven't got my glasses on. I know that I've got to get a new prescription, so I do apologise if I tripped over anyone's names there, but amazing.
Get your bifocals on.
I'm definitely not going to win. I'm not going to do an Anton if I wore them, Dave, on fucking Love Island.
Fucking lusting after Maya Jama too much.
How dare you, Dave? I'm a one-woman man, if you don't mind.
But no, Chris, I do jest sometimes, but in all seriousness, I also blame you. But thank you very much. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.